What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So it looks like it's been finalized. Nonito Donaire versus Vic Darchinyan in a rematch. Boo! I said this for the longest when I heard they were trying to make this fight. Before the Rigondeaux deal and negotiations were finalized, they were also trying to use Darchinyan as a backup plan in case Rigondeaux, because Rigondeaux was holding out at the time, saying that he wasn't going to fight until his contractual agreement with Top Rank was reevaluated or settled, some kind of lawsuit, and they were trying to use Vic Darchinyan as a backup plan, plan B for Nonito to fight. Now that Nonito has lost to Rigondeaux, they're trying to get his confidence back. I said it then, I'll say it now. Don't like this fight. It's just not that great. If they rematch closer to after the actual initial fight happened, that would be one thing, and I would probably be okay if this happened like years ago. But realistically, Nonito Donaire, he beat Darchinyan at a time before he became the mini superstar that he is, and that was in like 2007. Since that time, Nonito Donaire went on a winning streak. He started becoming like an HBO favorite, and I feel Darchinyan has slid down. He's had a lot of pretty much a tumultuous career since then. He had a draw. He had several losses after. He lost to Joseph Ekbeko, lost to Abner Maris. Abner Maris beat him and also Joseph Ekbeko, a fighter that Darchinyan lost to both of them. Darchinyan lost to Anselmo Moreno, who Abner Maris also beat. And I mean, Anselmo Moreno is a crafty, slippery fighter, but he doesn't have much punching power. Darchinyan is supposed to be the fighter with punching power, and I just think he's been better at the lower weight classes. I don't see him as he goes up in weight looking as good. It's kind of similar to Gamboa. Gamboa looked a lot better than when he started moving up weight classes. He doesn't look as good at 135 as he did in the lower weight classes. Darchinyan also had another loss against, I think it was a Japanese fighter, Yamanaka or some shit. He fought Luis De Valle, who was a Puerto Rican prospect, and really, he won that fight. It was a unanimous decision. It was a 10 rounder. And De Valle was just that. He was a prospect. He wasn't like he had a solid resume and he was running through people. He was an up and coming prospect. And I think Vic Darchinyan made it awkward for him and used his experience and his veteran status to overpower the youngster who doesn't have much experience on the pro level. And that's kind of to be expected. Devalle again hadn't beat anybody. He was just a prospect supposed to be the next best thing, and then Darchinyan gave him a reality check, let him know things he had to do. I believe he had Devalle hurt in that fight, but he never could pull the trigger and get him out of there. And then most recently, Darchinyan TKO'd Javier Gallo, who has tons of losses on his record. He was winning the first round, and I think Darchinyan himself got hurt. He's a sloppy, messy fighter. He's also talked about going into MMA. I don't know, man. I just feel like, again, Darchinyan, as he's moved up in weight, he hasn't looked as good. He hasn't looked as devastating, as powerful. After the Nonito Donaire loss, he hasn't looked as good. So, again, this rematch this year, November 9th, I think is really put there to make Nonito look good. I mean, I can see him stopping Darchinyan again and or running through him again. I just don't really see it being a competitive bout. Again, more or less about to make Nonito Donaire look good, and they're trying to match make and put him in against someone who, again, hasn't looked good as he moved up in weight and still probably cannot deal with Nonito's speed, his power. And then what's even worse is Nonito Donaire had, after the Rigondeaux loss, he had his first kid, so congrats to him on that. But he gained weight, and from the reports I was reading, he was weighing in the 140 pounds for a fighter that weighs in the 120s, the low 120s. His last fight was at 122. So his next fight, November 9th, from what I'm hearing, is supposed to take place at 126. So if Darchinyan, as he moved up to higher weights like 122 against guys like Javier Gallo, Luis de Valle, if he hasn't looked great in those fights, man, I think he'll get killed by Nonito at 126. He hasn't even looked good at 122, so now he's going to go up more weight, which would definitely favor Nonito Donaire because now Nonito is probably still faster, even at 126. He's going to weigh more, most likely, than Darchinyan. And again, Darchinyan hasn't looked good since the loss or since he moved up in weight. So, like I said, I think this is just kind of the sacrificial lamb, a fighter with a name. It's a rematch. Darchinyan wanted the rematch, so they're kind of stringing this along. They're trying to make this, I don't know, a good card. They're also putting fights with Mikey Garcia and Rocky Martinez. They're trying to get that fight. It's not a done deal. They're trying to get that and have that the main event because they know this Darchinyan Donaire fight is suspect. Normally, Donaire headlines the fights. He's the main event. But they know this is a shitty match put together because there's two names, known names to the core boxing fans that they could throw in, and in a rematch they can add, oh, it's a rematch. And really, like I said, it's there to make Darchinyan get knocked out probably and make Donaire look good, to build him back up, build his confidence back up after a tough fight and getting completely outclassed by Rigondeaux. So I don't give Darchinyan much of a chance at all, especially going up to 126. I don't really see what he's going to bring to the table. To me, Darchinyan is not elite. He looked better at the lower weight classes. He's a fighter who's awkward to say the least, but I mean, he fights sloppy. He doesn't have great, impeccable defense or timing. He fights very herky-jerky, and he's going to get his herky-jerky ass laid out from what I can project. If not, I think it's still going to be like an abomination, even if he doesn't get knocked out. On behalf of Nonito, I think he's going to supply the ass whooping. Don't give Darchinyan much of a chance. Don't really want to see this fight. Let me know what you guys think of this fight. Does Darchinyan have a chance? Do you even want to see it? Apparently, Donaire is saying nobody else wanted to fight him at 126. And Kiko Martinez just won a belt and called him out. I don't know if he'd be willing to go up to 126 or whatever, but I'd much rather see Donaire fight somebody like that. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego, signing off.